You know, people love to celebrate the success story, right? They clap when you walk across the stage. They repost when you announce that promotion. They call you a role model when you finally hit a big milestone. But what they don't see is the bill that comes with it. Because success, it ain't free. It's not just about the grind, the hustle, or even the sleepless nights. It's about the sacrifices, the ones that no one likes to talk about because they're ugly, they're heavy, and they don't fit into this pretty Instagram caption. This episode is about that price, what it really costs to go from broke to boardroom. And let me be real with you, it's not just dollars we're talking about. It's relationships, mental health, comfort, as well as identity. So let's break it down. Let's talk about the cost. Because if you're on this climb, you need to know what the admission ticket really looks like. Chapter 1, the financial toll. Let's start with the obvious one here, money. When I first started out, I remember staring at my checking account on Sunday night wondering if I had enough to stretch to payday. And on top of that, I was trying to invest in myself, buying books, paying for certifications, showing up to networking events, where the ticket price alone, it felt like robbery. But here's the thing, you don't get to the boardroom without paying those upfront costs. I had to spend money that I didn't have to put myself in rooms that I didn't know. I had to swallow pride, pick up side hustles to fund those professional moves. Here's an example. I once skipped out on fixing my car's AC. It was the middle of the summer, hot in here in Texas, because I needed that $800 to cover tuition for a course that would set me apart. Did it hurt? Absolutely. Was it worth it? Absolutely, without a doubt. That's the thing no one tells you. Success will ask you to bet your last dollar on yourself, and you'll have to decide if you trust the investment. Chapter 2, the relationship cost. Here's the harder one, relationships. Listen, chasing the boardrooms means you won't always be available. You won't always be the friend who makes every birthday dinner. You won't always be that family member who can pick up the phone on the first ring. And people, yeah, they take it personally. They think you've changed. They think you've forgotten where you came from. What they don't see is you're fighting for a future that makes sure everyone eats. For me, there were months where I was working so hard that I barely saw my own people. I missed gatherings, I missed moments. I had to live with that tension, being misunderstood, sometimes being labeled selfish. Here's the truth, growth costs connection. Not all, but some. And you have to decide if you're okay losing short-term approval to build long-term legacy. It's not easy. Some relationships came back once they saw the bigger picture. Others, they didn't. And that's part of the price too. Chapter 3, the mental health costs. Let's talk about mental health. Climbing the ladder, it ain't just tiring, it's isolating. And when you're breaking into spaces where people don't look like you, talk like you, move like you, that pressure is suffocating. I had nights where I questioned everything, nights where I just stared at the ceiling, wondering if I was built for this. The stress of always having to be on, always having to prove myself, it wears you down. There was a season where I carried panic attacks in silence because I didn't want anyone to think that I wasn't capable. Imagine smiling in a meeting while inside you're fighting to breathe. That's the unspoken toll. So let me be clear, don't let ambition bury your well-being. Therapy, mentorship, journaling, whatever you need to offload the weight, do it. Because success means nothing if you lose yourself in the process. Chapter 4, the identity shift. And finally, the cost of identity. When you go from broke to boardroom, you don't just change jobs, you change circles. You change how people see you and even how you see yourself. And that's disorienting. You start asking, am I still the same person? Do I still belong where I came from? Or am I stuck between worlds? And I remember sitting in a corporate boardroom, looking around, realizing that I was the only black executive in the room, and it hit me. I had made it, but at the same time it hit me that this came with a responsibility to represent something bigger than me. That's the price of admission to carrying the weight not just for yourself but for the ones coming behind you. It's heavy, but it's also what makes the grind worth it. In closing, so here's the message. Success isn't free. It will cost you money, relationships, your peace of mind, and even your old identity. But if you understand the price, you're willing to pay for it, then the boardroom, it isn't just possible, it's waiting for you. The key is knowing which costs are temporary and which ones you can't afford to pay permanently. That's wisdom. That's the real climb. So let me ask you, what are you willing to pay for the life that you say you want? Drop your answer in the comments. because I promise you, somebody else is feeling the same struggle. And don't act like it's only me.